Hey, here we are.
This happens every time. Hey, welcome to Real Talk Live, where the talk is real and the entertainment's cheap. My name's Todd. This is AJ.
Yo.
And he's back. It's been a long time. He left us. He stopped supporting us, but now he's come back. The old fun guy, Austin. Welcome back, fun guy.
Fun guy.
Thank you.
A nice clap for everyone. So, fun guy, what's it feel like, fun guy? Get it?
Because he sticks around.
No. Anyway, guys, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Anyway, guys, we'll do this real fast. You know the drill. What's Real Talk? It's an opportunity to talk about life, God, the Bible, and everything in between. Up above or somewhere, if you're watching on YouTube, is a link, www.theremnant.life/real-talk. Click it, go down to the bottom, follow directions, and you will get to ask a question that'll go into our database completely and honestly. Maybe you have a question you've always wanted to know about God, life, the Bible, or even a situation you're in, but you didn't feel comfortable doing it in person, or you didn't have someone to talk to. Now's your opportunity. You can also ask those types of questions in this discussion thread that we have, but we know sometimes some of them are sensitive and you don't want to do that, and we respect and love that. We put out a weekly podcast / web series show that is more serious, I guess, and we like to do this live one to just have a little fun. So we have many different segments. We got a big raffle drawing this week, so you guys still have a chance to win that. Also, next week, I don't know if you knew this, we have another raffle basket next week.
Really?
Oh, it's a big one.
Ooh.
So, that being said, you didn't know about it, did you, Fun Turn? I want to tell you guys one thing because we want to let you know right here, right now, before we get to the business at hand. Also, before I do that, would you help us out? Like, share this video.
Yeah,
more
share the
people to
stream.
see it. Let's break some records.
Hey, let's
48, I think. I don't remember. 40-something, so let's do it. We'll say 48. Now, we have two baskets.
Yes.
You want to pull yours up?
Sure. I'm going to swing this out real quick.
Never mind. It's taking too long. This basket, I talk about it. Oh, my goodness, AJ.
There we go. Here. I'm
This
here.
is our life. Anyway, in this basket, it's that's the guy one, right? We have one that's sort of aimed towards.
I think this is the women one. Pizza Hut.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Reese's.
Yeah, that's the one.
Thank you. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, that's
good.
one.
So clearly, I know nothing what I'm talking about. In this beautiful basket, we've got 3 free pizzas. We've got a Maurice's gift card, which I think is like $25-$30. We got awesome girl candy that people love, a nice blanket. Guess what? You right now can go to www.theremnant.life/give, and for every $1 you donate, you get a ticket. However, if you give $5, you get 6 tickets.
6.
So at the end of this show, towards the end of the show at approximately 9:30-ish, we will draw names and award these baskets. So that's one basket.
Yep.
We have another basket here. I'm not going to pull it up. Anyway, it's a guy aimed basket. Honestly, and I'm not just saying this. Guys have heard me complain about this all week. I'm really upset I can't apply for this. There
Right.
is
a good
a
basket.
Wings gift card of like $25. That alone's worth it.
Yeah.
There are 3 large free pizzas, a bunch of car accessories to clean your car, make it look good. You know how that goes.
It's a good basket.
Yeah. So right now, www.theremnant.life/give. You go and donate. You'll get an opportunity, $1 per ticket or 6 for $5. Not only will you be getting a basket, but you'll be supporting this ministry, and that's completely tax deductible.
Oh, yeah.
What qualifies as girl candy? That's fair. Pull that little chocolatey bar out.
Yeah, I'll get the little chocolatey bar. Look at this thing.
It actually says, oh, let me see that. Yep,
Yeah.
girl candy. No, I'm just kidding. This is Lindt Excellence Dark Chocolate Bar with a touch of sea salt.
Nice.
So we'll get that to you. See, Chris, thank you for helping us sell BOGO Thursday wings. That car will go a long way. You better believe it. So you're probably saying, well, Todd, if we live out of the area, how in the world am I going to get my basket?
How
Well,
are we going to do it?
we'll get it to you. We'll mail it. We'll send it. We'll fly it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're
I'll
crazy.
crawl to
You
you.
won't do that, but. All right, I think I did it enough. Everyone's bored. Guys, help us out. Let's break some records. You guys, it's been a long time
It's been a while.
since could. Anyway, that's that. Any questions, comments, concerns, let us know. Also, what I'm eating right now. Oh, I'm so hungry. Sounds good. I didn't eat today. Stomach was sick.
I had some McDonald's earlier.
But it was good. Anyway, hey, let me join in here, guys. In all seriousness, we got a lot of questions. I'll show you right here's my cards. We're gonna we answer live questions, meaning the ones you ask right now first. But if not, we're gonna dive right in.
we got
However,
plenty.
to get you guys warmed up, to let you know we love you, to get to know each other and feel comfortable chatting, you know what we're gonna do right now?
What are we going to do?
We're going to do our first segment.
What's
It's
the first
called
segment?
Real random. AJ, why
Real
don't you tell them what real
random.
random is?
Hey, Real Random is where we do random things for you, and we're in the middle of a Real Random series called Overrated, Underrated, where we pick 5 topics,
Sure.
and we discuss whether they're overrated or underrated, and you guys get to join in on the discussion.
Now, here's the thing. I want to let everybody know this right here, right now. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to end this series weeks ago.
I love it. I can't get enough of
Well,
I
anyway,
refuse.
we're gonna go back to eating hot stuff. What we've done every now and then, listen. What we've done is we're no longer used to it, and it's gonna be so miserable again.
Oh, it makes me, literally gives me chills just thinking about it.
Yeah, we still have some hot stuff in there. So, but overrated, underrated, we already explained it, right?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive. You guys join us in the comments below. Feel free to ask questions. Let's have some fun tonight. I know what
fun.
you're thinking. You could be watching Grey's Anatomy. Miss Marshall. Oh, it's hard with a habit. Or you could be here watching us. That's it. That's
You
all
can
we
watch
said. That's
us
all I got.
if you want.
All right. Hey, Blake,
You can
don't do that again.
You can get a little higher
Don't-
if you want.
Don't
Get a
do
little
that to
longer
me.
if you
So
want.
up first for overrated and underrated, guys, we have a hot topic
Ooh, hot
for some
topic.
people here at the Remnants. You know, we have two different kind of cultures. We have people who grew up in public schools and people that didn't. And there's often this misconception that public schools would have parties here every single weekend. And so that's the beach.
Oh, the infamous.
First
beach
of all,
party.
Taylor says, speaking of hot stuff, AJ's sitting next to some hot stuff. I'm over here. Just kidding. She's talking about her own husband.
That's me.
Yeah.
Austin, the beach, overrated or underrated?
I'm overrated.
Overrated? Wow, why?
Yeah, I like to be on the water. Like I like to be on a boat in the water
froze.
versus compared to like on the beach. The sand is hot. It's terrible.
is true.
It gets everywhere.
So you're not including the water as part of the beach experience.
Yeah,
You're
I was-
thinking purely sand.
I'm thinking about purely sand. Now, the overall beach
fair.
experience, I would say underrated because I like being in the water, I like swimming. I like just being around it. It's very calming, peaceful, like the view, the sound of the waves going back and forth. It's really nice. But we're talking about the beach itself and the sand, overrated. Can't stand it.
I gotta go severely underrated. I love the beach. You ever go to any of those surf shops off this main strip of Daytona Beach, Florida? Because I have. I used to wear the Billabong. Used to wear the Hurley.
I'm sorry, you used to wear the what?
The Billabong.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's what you said. Just want to make sure that's what you said. Did you ever...
Quicksilver. Fox.
you want to be surprised that I had some Quicksilver and Billabong? Does that shock you?
Nice, man.
I guess I'm too decrepit to have that.
One of the same.
Let me ask you this. You ever taken a graham cracker with marshmallows and chocolate put together on the beach? What's that called?
It's a s'more.
Nope. Caught yourself, didn't you? Anyway, so you said underrated.
Underrated. I love the beach, man.
The beach. See, this is hard for me in comparison. In general, I'm going to say overrated. I'm kind of with Austin. The sand's hot. It gets on all my stuff.
Yep.
Beach experience, I'm good with.
Yes.
Chris, it's not what I said.
Like we go.
Chris. It's not what I said.
Build a, thank you. That is what it sounded like you
Not what I
said.
said.
Yeah. The sand gets everywhere.
Guys, hold on.
What is this?
We got some stuff going on here.
Okay.
Apparently, Sydney says if Austin doesn't respond to my comment, I'm going to have Amber cut my hair.
Whoa.
Okay.
The comment was to put your. You don't. She said just respond.
Yes. So, Sydney, to respond to your question, I would do that, but I can't. I'm wearing short socks today. I'm not wearing my dad's socks. The whole kind of story behind that is Wednesday, I was sitting next to one of our good friends, Jordan Bennett, and I was telling AJ, I'm like, hey, I got my dad socks on today, and I lifted up my jeans, and it's like these long white tube socks. And Jordan goes, ew, gross. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I'll show you. So I put my socks over my jeans. And I actually took a picture of it because it looks terrible. So, like, the socks were coming up all the way up to here, just a big mess of everything.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And I was like that. I was like that the rest of the day. And actually, the funny part is, I know she didn't like it.
Surfing on a closed down beach. How'd you get in there, Pastor Jim?
Interesting.
I'm curious. Rebel at heart. Sorry.
I love it.
Yeah. Probably the worst thing I did to Jordan is I knew she didn't like it, so she was actually in one of her like small groups meeting, and I took a picture of my socks and sent it to her. And her comment
That
was,
actually been pretty funny.
her comment was, "I hate you."
Oh, man.
A lot of people saying underrated on the beach. AJ
beach.
has big Myrtle Beach energy. It's a compliment. That's good to see. Pastor Jim, really like that guy.
Nice.
Moving forward. What's
Did
next?
you answer the beach?
Yeah, I said overrated.
Overrated.
You voted
okay.
You
just like
didn't,
me.
as usual. You listened to nothing I said. Moving forward.
I heard you.
So
You
up,
heard me or
ne-
hurt me?
up
'Cause it did
next,
hurt.
Heard you.
Okay. What?
either way. So, anyways, up next,
Business.
here in the Midwest, occasionally we get some
No
really
comment.
nice skies in the morning and in the evenings. So when you're driving at night and the sun starts to set, how do you feel about some Indiana sunsets?
Jeff Royer, you old dog.
Royer?
Good to see you. He's on.
Nice.
Anyway, what do we got here?
Indiana sunsets.
Indiana sunsets. That's a song I made up.
Is
What do
it?
you got? No, I just did it just now. What do you got?
Sounds like a hit, man.
You know me, man. Jingles and random songs. What do you got? Underrated,
I'm
overrated?
gonna say they are underrated, man. I've seen other sunsets of other parts of this beautiful nation of America, and I think Indiana's got one of the best ones. It's beautiful, man.
Not much, Royer. How you doing, buddy? How's the snow up north? What?
Oh, for Indiana sunsets, I'm gonna say underrated as well.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I like the colors. I like just the way it looks. And like you're by yourself, just driving. It's just nice, peaceful to see.
Royer, you should help us out and share this. You got billions of friends. Everyone loves you. What?
That's true. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
underrated.
Yeah,
I'm so
definitely
sorry,
underrated.
man. It's hard to be the host here. I got to keep things going. I want to listen to you.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot going on.
That's all right. I'm
Annoying while driving into them, but underrated. They're amazing from whenever. That's true. Hey, Denise, we miss you. We were just talking about you last week. I don't think
We were.
and it was good. We just miss you. So, that being said, it's my turn,
Yep.
and I will also say underrated.
Nice.
I think Indiana in general. Oh, that's pretty cool. Underrated. My daughters and wife call it cotton candy sky. That's really pretty, actually. Indiana sunsets underrated. I think Indiana as a whole is underrated. You know, everybody mocks it. You know the whole seasons thing. Like, guys, that's a great thing. We get a taste of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was gonna say too. You get to experience it in every aspect.
You know, it's kind of funny. On a Facebook page for an old radio
What are you studying for,
station-
Jeff? I'm curious. Go ahead.
For an old radio station in Warsaw, on their Facebook page, it said, describe you living in Indiana without saying I live in Indiana.
I saw this earlier.
Yeah, and my comment was, I live in a
Hey,
place
Bailey,
where...
good to see you, buddy. Miss you.
Oh, hi, Bailey. Miss you, man. I told them I live in a place where the weather has a mind of its own and seasons are just suggestions. Because right now it is a blizzard outside, but tomorrow it could be spring.
That's true,
Yeah,
actually.
just like that.
You know, up here in Indiana, we I'm a weird guy. We didn't get winter was kind of mild for us until recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last couple weeks.
It's been pretty
Heavens
mild.
scream out God's glory. Amen. No excuse.
Good stuff.
What's next?
So up,
Production
Up
guy
next.
Blake is just filled with rage today.
I'm sorry.
P.S.
He's an
guys,
angry
you may
production
have
guy
come in
today.
being excited to see Krista on today. We too were excited
Yes.
for her to tear us apart sarcastically. But she is very intelligent. I'm just kidding. We love Krista. But what happened was we were struggling with Blizzard. We care about our life.
Yep.
Whereas Austin was already.
They don't care about mine.
Hey, congrats, Jeff. You're killing it, buddy. Anyway,
So sorry, guys.
next, what we got? Sorry, production guy. He's been angry all day.
I'm terribly sorry, truthfully, honestly.
Thank you. Once we agree. Moving on.
Up next, it's a fad that's sweeping the nation slowly but surely in videos and other things where men are collecting certain items from rivers, lakes, etc.
Yes.
by throwing magnets out. Magnet fishing.
Dude, magnet fishing is sick. You know
To
what
be
magnet
honest with you,
fishing is?
I have no idea what you're
You
talking
never
about.
seen magnet fishing, bro?
I've never heard of this.
Really?
Pastor Jim, I was ready to heckle her. Good. She needs a heckling. She's always heckling us. Although, Pastor Jim, you heckled us during basketball pretty good.
Listen, okay, so I'll explain magnet fishing to
Sure,
you
let's
guys real
hear it.
quick. These guys will take these magnets that are probably weigh like 15 to 20 pounds, but they can attract like anything up to like 1,000. It's crazy. Maybe like 500. It's
So what? The metal and the fish? I'm confused how this
no,
works.
so it's literally like magnet fishing. They throw the magnet into like rivers and pull up anything. And they'll
it's
get,
not
like-
for fish at all.
No, so it's like so they'll
That makes way more sense.
Yes.
Trent, I'm in with you, buddy.
So yes, they will take these magnets and throw them into like lakes
bath.
and just wherever.
Why
and
aren't
just
we
pull up
doing
a bunch
this?
of. I know, right? Because dude, people find the most interesting things. I saw
Oh,
this
hey,
video of
Aunt
a guy
Ruth.
who literally like he made
glad
like
you're here.
$1,000 by just going on this popular river picking up GoPros.
How strong?
They're very strict.
mean, how do we get one?
I have no idea.
Production guy, get on the
Can we
lookout.
try something crazy?
I know a guy.
My nephew has that game. He loves fishing his magnet fish.
I want to
So
try something.
I'm gonna say severely underrated because it looks so fun.
Underrated?
I want to say overrated because I haven't heard of it and haven't tried it, but I'm willing to try it. I actually do want to try something because I had knee surgery, and so I have metal in my knee.
Taylor,
I have like metal screws. I wonder if like I'm swimming and you throw the magnet in, if it hooks onto my knee because of the metal in my knee.
Speaking sounds
of
terrible.
Austin,
I want to try this.
We'll talk about this later. Austin, I was there for this. One of the grossest knee injuries I've ever seen was Austin. His kneecap was on the side of his knee. And the best part of this, I'll tell this later, is that I'll tell it later. Anyway, I knew it was coming. I just walked over immediately, didn't even look at it and go, "We're gonna call the ambulance right
It's a good story.
now."
Can't wait to
Anyway,
relive it.
Isaac, hey, good to see you, buddy. Taylor Denise says some people do it at Morshes, and then the magnet got stuck on the side of that bridge. That makes sense. I'm gonna underrated. Hannah says magnet fishing sounds cool, but I'm sure it could also be creepy.
Oh
like a
yeah,
body.
people. Yeah, I think people have like confiscated guns before that they had to return, like turn into the police and stuff.
I'm going to say
That'd be scary.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Dude, it's awesome.
Oh, yeah, sounds cool. Moving on.
Up next,
Terrible headache.
when you're looking for just some time alone and enjoying the Hoosier countryside, you hop in your car, go for a nice long drive.
Long drives.
Long drives, overrated, underrated.
So underrated, man. I love driving.
I
Probably
wonder.
my favorite trip was when I drove like 13 hours straight to go see my brother in Louisiana when he lived there. I loved it, man. Good stuff.
What'd you do to stay awake? No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Real quick,
Please
I
don't.
wonder who put this list together because whenever something comes up, someone gets really excited for it.
I know.
But I'm actually going to say underrated as well. Like long drives are nice, they're relaxing.
Oh, yeah.
Especially mixing in some Indiana sunsets. But if you're driving to the beach, then it's overrated.
If you're driving to the beach. Nice. Todd, man.
Amber speaking to you, Blake. I think it says I love you. You can look. I hate long car trips. I'm going to say overrated.
Overrated. Yeah, you don't like to drive, do you?
No, unless I'm anxious and not for long periods. Get Todd some food. He has a headache because that's fair. I haven't eaten, but how'd she know that? That's so weird. How'd you know that? Oh, did I say it earlier?
Oh, yeah, you said I have a terrible headache.
No, I meant not eating.
Probably because you have a pattern of not eating.
That's fair. Which would be weird because I'm a big guy.
Candace, my brother no longer lives in Louisiana. He lived there for like 2 months.
Dude, for a second, I thought you said my brother no longer lives. I was like, when did this happen? You didn't even tell me. Yeah, that's a good point, Denise. I don't like to do it for work either. I used to drive 2 hours.
Yeah, for work it's not
Yeah.
that fun.
What's next, my good man?
Last one.
Our last overrated, underrated
Joke.
of the night is a certain song that talks about a relationship between a man and a woman. This song, for those of you that might want to know, is the exact time of distance between pulling off of 69 and a certain restaurant that serves barbecue items, ribs, etc. But this song is one that we've studied in the past here at the Remnant House. Seals, Kiss from a Rose.
First of all, I want you to know already, this is in my head now, and it's going to be on. No, 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 no. Anyway, on Seal,
is this?
Kiss from a Rose.
Severely underrated. This is such a great song, and I love every second of it.
For the record, I knew AJ made this list. He said to me before the show, I can't wait for overrated, underrated. The last one's my favorite. But do not be mad at me, but I'm going to say overrated because I don't think I've heard this song.
You've never heard
It does not sound familiar at all.
Be a Batman fan? It's in a Batman movie. Batman
Thank you.
Forever.
I've never heard it either.
I don't
to be fair.
You've.
The most
Get
iconic.
out.
It's one of the most iconic choruses ever.
I'm not going to sing it because clearly it's.
Well, you probably should because we need to hear it.
You've literally never heard this song.
It doesn't
There's
sound
a
familiar to
chance
me.
that
insane.
I could have heard
almost
it. I don't know
guarantee
names
you
of
guys
songs.
have heard it.
I just gave you the
just
part that would
don't-
tell you.
You don't
that
recognize
doesn't-
the name and connect it with the song. 100%.
Well,
there's
first
no
of
way
all-
you've never heard.
We did literally spend a night studying the meaning of the song
It's
because
true.
we were
It's
singing
strange.
it. The thing about underrated, great song, sticks in your head for
absolutely.
years.
Yes,
The problem is you start studying the words of this song and you begin to create a story.
it's true.
We didn't know what it meant, but then we looked deeper into it, and there are some rumors. We'll leave it at that.
My wife
Moving
says-
forward, underrated.
My wife says she's disappointed in me for not knowing this song, but I don't. Yeah,
It could be rumors. I don't know.
They're not.
Guarantee you heard the song.
Yeah, we're actually. You've literally the entire show's been a little affected by what you've done. Yeah. Anyway, move. I'm just kidding. He goes, hey, we're gonna move on to our. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that was all
Hey,
fun.
thanks so much for enjoying it. Playing the game with us. Moving forward, we're going to go to our next segment. It's popular somewhat. When our guys give our gifts out on time, which very rarely happens. Now we have the two. By the way, you can mock him because he is not that much better. He has at getting them out. However, he does get them out. So winner, Fun Turn wins. So real, nope, wrong one. Remnant Roulette. What's Remnant Roulette? You ask. It's a game, a segment in which our good friend, production guy Blake, will tell us a question. We all answer it in the comments below. If you answer it within, I believe, 10 minutes,
10 minutes.
you will be entered into another drawing for another gift. And it's a special one.
Nice. We're
We
doubling
actually
down.
found some stuff in the studio today. This is good. We found many things in our studio today, and you're going to get a signed that you can burn if you'd like, because it has no value. A signed memorabilia from this studio.
Really?
It has $1 in it. I'm trying to make it worth something. Anyway,
I'm
you get a
excited.
gift.
Nice. Listen, anything with our signatures on it
Is
it's
worth
It's
nothing.
worth something.
No, it isn't. It's worth the value of the item. We
It's
actually brought
worth
the
the
value
good
down.
times that we've had on this show.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? We'll at least give you a fun little comment or something.
Yeah. Remember that one time when we
I'm
were
sorry,
doing
man.
Cameo?
We all have our days.
Listen, it's one of those emotional gifts that'll be very.
You're son, you son of a gun. I took a drink right as you said that. Almost legitimately spit all over everyone.
I'm all the way back here. I think I might have been out of the splash zone for.
Oh, it was half a second. All right, let's move on. Hey, help us out. Please share. What's our share count? I feel like no one cares about us today. Okay, not at all. All right. Could have had that done in 4 seconds.
20 shares.
20 shares.
20, that's pretty good. Not
Not too
30.
bad.
Help us out. If you haven't shared, take a second, share this. You've got friends. You've got family. You've got pets. They can't watch videos. Yeah, they can.
I think they can.
What's the question? I don't know, man. I'm off today.
It's good stuff.
So last week we talked about how if we were in a zombie apocalypse, who would your fictional team be, right?
Yeah, right.
However, we're going to switch a little bit this
Interesting.
week. We're going to stick with the fictional character.
Thanks,
realm.
Bailey.
Okay.
However, if you could choose any one fictional character to be your imaginary friend, who would it be and why?
So in this scenario,
They're not real.
well, he's real, but no one can see him.
It would be like having him they wouldn't necessarily be able to affect the world around you, but it'd be you.
So
Would,
essentially,
It's
I
just
can
a-
have this.
Mhm.
Like I'm saying right now, I can have this if I want.
Right. But it's just imaginary. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Bubble Buddy from SpongeBob.
Except they saw him.
You're up.
Oh, that's true. They did see him. Okay. Imaginary friend. Who would be an
So if
interesting
you could have
imaginary
any
friend?
fictional character as your imaginary friend, you ever seen Drop Dead Fred? Weird movie. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Fictional character. This is gonna probably make no sense.
That's my point, Chris. I'm glad you saw it. Tommy Boy. That's hilarious.
That's awesome. Callahan. I'm gonna go with Static Shock.
What a random. I've never heard you talk about Static Shock in your life.
Kids WB, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, cool. Hey, you guys have until 9:05.
Told you it was gonna shock you guys. Get it? What do you got, Austin?
This show's just been off the rails.
Oh gosh, for my
Oh, that's really cool, Haley. You know what? We will do that. We got some sweatshirts still
Oh
rolling
yeah,
around, I think.
somewhere they're floating.
I can't find mine, but
I got mine.
weird. I thought there were only 2 navy blue ones, me and Singleton. Now you have one.
This is a navy. This is gray.
That is 100% blue. Am I wrong? That is our blue one, right?
it does look awfully blue. It could be the lightsaber behind it.
So here's the thing. I was kidding with you.
It does. Definitely has a blue.
I'm just trying to
I
distract
didn't
him.
think you stole from me until the moment you lied about a color and tried to get me to believe it.
Listen,
It could be the lightsaber.
We've seen the gray ones. That's not a gray one. Anyway, moving on. Oh, what did he say? Did y'all see my big comment above? I'll go check it out. I'm sorry. Imaginary friend, you're up, buddy.
I would have to go with.
Hey, Candace, we'll get you a sweatshirt too if you win. What?
Gosh, I'd have to go with
Bailey
Aragorn
here.
from Lord of the Rings.
Holy moly. Who from Lord of the Rings?
Aragorn.
Good choice.
Nice.
My brother, my dad, was first responders. Oh man, that's terrifying, Bailey. It's awesome that you guys were able to be there and help, but man,
Yeah.
I guess I would say, Michael Scott would be a good one. That's a hard one to pass up. Because in this imaginary situation, they can't really interact with me other than making me laugh. So I'm gonna go with Michael Scott. That's a pretty
Rod
good one.
Kimball from Hot Rod.
Who said that, Chris?
Sid. Gosh, that's funny.
All right. Moving forward.
Legit. Too legit to quit.
You guys know the drill. We're gonna have a good time. All right, I'm gonna check.
This has been fun.
Yeah, I've had an okay
I'm having
time.
a blast today. This is awesome.
Michelle sends me a message. Says I'm actually watching and on time and plan to stay. Write it down. Already done.
Hey, quick
Excited to
reminder
see.
for you guys that aside from Minute Roulette, we are doing a raffle in case you guys are just getting on. We have
yeah.
2 baskets here, a men and a women's basket. It's $1 per ticket. It's got a whole bunch of good stuff in it. If you go to www.theremnant.life/give and go down to the drop-down box and click Real Talk, every dollar you give gets you 1 ticket that will draw towards the end of the show, or you give $5, you get 6 tickets. So if you guys want to get in on that, you still have a little while. Like you said, we'll be drawing winners at the end of the show. Thank you.
See you, Jeff. Love you, buddy.
See you, Jeff.
Paul Walker. That's a good. That's awesome.
Paul Walker, interesting.
Real person, but played imaginary people.
That's right.
See ya. Give me
Peace.
the peace sign. He's too cool for me, man. He also has a cool mustache, I think, now.
Mustaches
Speaking
are
of, I really
cool.
want to know people's views on beards, but we'll get to that. Hey, we're going to move on. You guys have until I said 9:05. We're going to do the drawing for the raffles at 9:30. So you heard the deal. $1 for 1 ticket or 6 for 5. You can do that at www.theremnant.life/give. And we will add those tickets as we go, but try to get that in. We'll close it at 9:30 and do the drawing after so that he has time to put the tickets in. So we'll do that right before we close up. However, we're going to dive into questions, guys. Love you too, man.
Hey-o.
I want you guys to know we really need your help. Let's have some fun. You know what I've also noticed? You guys remember me telling you that, like, whenever we have girls on, we have way more views? Mm-hmm. What does that say about society?
Oh, never mind. Anyways. I was going to say something and I decided against it.
Get the
Hey,
All right.
Todd's watching with us.
My father?
No, you.
Oh. It's me. All right, hey, ready? Let's go with number 1.
Oh, nice. We're going into the questionronis.
Guys, and we do have fun, but the opportunity here is also to have real discussion. So we actually do, excuse me, I'm so sorry. We have discussions like this. I'm really blessed, and I hope you have people in your life that you have these kinds of you have these kinds of discussions about. Mm-hmm. Help us out, guys. Listen, help us. You have friends.
You have friends.
I have at least one.
At least.
All right, they're all in this room, though. So.
If it's easier
Just
to read,
kidding.
it's
All
also
people
on a
watching.
TV screen.
Here it comes. When does it become enabling instead of compassion? I struggle with this. I feel like people take advantage of the situation and I get so angry. I struggle with my own family more than anyone. I feel so alone and distant. I don't follow crowds. I just try to use tough love at times. That's correct, right? The only one I didn't. Okay. I just try to use tough love at times. I feel I have to stay so full of anger and I don't know sometimes what God wants me to do. Hope this makes sense. So it sounds like the situation is, generically, is that there's these people that that are needing help, and it's happening probably over and over, and it's getting to the point where you wonder, and it's almost feels like it's taking advantage of them,
Right.
Maybe. And I think we've all been in situations like that.
Absolutely, man. I think the line between that is what's going on. We always want to give common grace in life to people. But when you're enabling, I think the difference between enabling and compassion is still holding somebody accountable, but believing in them enough to not make them suffer for what they've done. And then enabling is just ignoring it entirely. That's kind of how I view it. Does that make sense?
That's pretty good, man.
Yes. Compassion is walking it out with somebody.
Thanks, Bailey.
And even though you have to have those hard talks with them sometimes, you still, it's kind of like it's based on forgiveness, right? Where there's no penalty. You keep walking it out with them. But enabling them is just going, it's okay. You just keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like a tough one. It's like for me, because like I can use compassion in like the wrong sense a lot of times. Like it depends on like where your heart is in the situation. Because like I can be compassionate to like someone all day long and give them everything they want. But if I'm doing it to expect stuff in return, I'm just enabling it, and that's when I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I feel like I'm not getting anything out of it, and it's all become me-centered. But like compassion, you just know what's your heart behind it. Because like if I'm giving you something because you need help out of the generosity and like the kindness of my heart, then I'm doing it because I love you and care about you. But if I'm doing it to eventually either get something in return, to expect you to do better, or to expect you not to mess up whatever the situation is, then I'm not actually giving you compassion. I'm just like helping you and hoping for the best in return to what benefits me.
Sure.
So I don't know specifically what the situation is.
Yeah, it's hard to answer that without knowing specifics.
Yeah.
You know, I will say this. As a believer, I tend to err on this. It's not my job to judge their heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
My job
That's
is
good.
to love. And when I see Jesus giving compassion, he didn't ask whether the person was being enabled or taking advantage of him. He just loved. Now, that being
good.
said, here's the thing. Sometimes, for some reason, if someone comes and asks for, I don't know, let's say the easy one's cash over and over and over.
Yeah.
It's actually not compassionate to just keep giving them enough to get by.
Yep.
The most compassionate thing to do is to walk through the situation with them and ask, like, hey, do you need help getting a job, mate? Let's just say, for instance, right? That doesn't mean you do that. You're doing it, but it goes back to heart. It's not that you're doing it because you want to control it. Hopefully, it's because sometimes compassion is helping them get through the situation or change the trajectory and not just put out a fire.
That's good.
So, you know, that's where I'm at with it, I think. Again, you made a great point. It's hard to know without knowing the situation.
Absolutely.
Money is like a common one. Like, feel like taking advantage could be like them using stuff or anything like that. Like, it's weird without knowing like specific details, but like.
But I understand that, man. I whoever shared this, I would say the biggest thing for you is, you know, I have to stay so full of anger. That's not true. You don't have to feel that way, and you can release that. And you know what the bottom line is, it also says something about you that these people continue to come back to you for some reason, right? And even though you know I don't know, you don't have to live in that. Be angry and do not sin. The Bible says.
Yeah.
Moving, you're up, buddy.
All right, let's go with what do I got here?
Help us out, guys. 24 views. That's pretty low for us lately.
Number 2.
We have, I guess it's.
I guess it's me.
No, it's definitely not. It was high when we weren't here. It's probably me and AJ.
You don't like me.
Well, what do you got?
Number 2. All right, so it says, if I go to the casino, am I a sinner? I make sure I give my offering cheerfully and give what God calls me to give. I personally don't feel convicted by it. I wanted to know what the Bible and God says about it. So, I would say that if you go to the casino, are you a sinner? No. I would just, right off the bat, I'd say no.
Now, we're definitely going to get some battle in here, I bet. Yeah, I think when you ask questions, just let the others answer first.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm glad you did. That's why we take turns.
No. Not to answer, but like, if you go to a casino, no, I don't think you're a sinner. I feel like there's a lot with your heart and like behind it, because like when it comes to like bringing an offering and in the mix, like I make sure to give my offering cheerfully and give what God calls for me to give. Like, if that's you justifying going to the casino, the worst part in the whole situation.
That's a great
like,
point. So what if I was a drug dealer? Or what if I stole money and I gave a tithe out of that, or an offering out of that? Does that justify where I got the money? And that answer is no, right?
yeah.
So
There's like
before we get to it in general.
Yeah, there's like self-conviction in the question itself.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're bringing two opposites in together because they're two separate. 'Cause a lot of like people deal with financially. People like, shocker is like people don't want to give to their church. They don't want to. Like that's a separate thing besides going to a casino. Those are two separate things. So I view you as a sinner for going to the casino. No, the heart behind it, that's a different story. Because like if you're using it to justify, my offering is only this much because I didn't win this much at the casino. That's where it kind of gets a little bit, like that's crossing the line a little bit.
Yeah.
If your offering fluctuates by how much you win at the casino, then that's not doing what
I
God
don't think
calls you
that's
to do.
necessarily what they're saying, but I do think, I would hope, I do think there's some truth to it about trying to already justify, hey, it's not the money. Money doesn't have a hold on me, because I give my offering.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The Bible doesn't specifically talk about gambling. People are going to say it does. It doesn't. It's going to talk about casting lots, things like that, being the reason. However, the love of money is discussed in the Bible.
Yes.
And that is sinful. So you got to ask yourself, why am I going to the casino?
Exactly.
What's the purpose behind it? Also, I would say with that is, here's the reality. Is it wise? Are you being a wise steward of your money going to casino? Because the reality is the games are stacked against you. The house is always, that's a fact. The other thing I would say, so we're not talking about sin yet. We're just talking about thinking through things.
Yeah.
The other thing is, what are at casinos? What's the culture like? Is it a place where it could draw you in deeper into other sinful things? So it's the same thing of like, it may not be a sin to go certain places, but it would be unwise to go to certain places because what the temptation may get you to do.
What it brings.
Yeah. So I think it's less of an issue of, whether it's a sin, you need to be honest with yourself and pray about that. I think, is it being a wise steward of your money? Because that is in the Bible. Are you doing it out of love of money? Are you doing it? Here's a crazy one. Are you doing it to avoid work?
That's interesting.
Because you're hoping to get an easy income.
Hoping to hit it big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that being said,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say that it's called, it's called a sin in and of
Yeah.
itself. Luke says, "What are you trying to fulfill with the gambling, and also is gambling your money being?" There you go, Luke. Friends.
So I have a question myself off of that, based
Yeah.
off of that. So do you think it'd be bad for a Christian to be involved in the stock market? Or is that different?
No, I don't think that's. I mean, it depends on your heart and how you view
Right.
it.
I was curious if
how do
that'd
you
be
how do you
considered the
view
same.
that? Again, let's back off the word sin for a second,
Right.
Because I just I don't want to confuse the issue. As far as it being labeled, yeah, exactly, Pastor Jim, getting rich quick. I think there's warnings, but the act itself of is gambling a sin. We need to throw that out for a second. You
Right.
need to start asking the other questions that are deeper. You being a good steward of your money. Does it lead to other things?
That's good.
Etc. But stock market's an interesting one, and I think a lot of times I was just talking to Tim about this actually. Ironically, this week is we are so quick to not want to go to God and let the Holy Spirit direct us individually sometimes.
Yep.
So the first thing I'd say is pray about it.
That's good.
If you're a believer and you you have a hesitancy in your spirit about something, pray about it.
I feel like that people take that as such a cliche answer, but it's so real.
It's the truth.
It's the
We are
truth,
literally
right.
given a counselor.
Exactly.
The Bible calls the Holy Spirit
good,
a
man.
counselor, right? Who to give us counsel, and we tend to not do that. And yes, we have the Bible to direct us, and we should go to that first. And certainly, the Holy Spirit will never contradict the Bible. But let's pray about that.
That's good, man. I like that.
So, for instance, personally, I don't have a conviction about investments.
Me either.
In fact, I view it as a
Hashtag
a higher
Dogecoin.
higher yield interest rate in some ways. But again, it goes back to your heart too, though, right? Could you have a love of money and be it's just investments? Of course you can. So
That's good. Awesome.
completely agree, Chris. They absolutely can be.
Oh, absolutely. They can be just as obsessive.
Want to make sure that I'm checking if we got anyone to ask any as we go.
Any live questions?
Great questions though.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, we
Good
did get
stuff.
one here.
Okay.
Oh, if I can ever pull it up to send to him. I'll read it and then he can put it up. If you were named after your worst trait, what would your name be? What about the best? Serious question, no jokes.
Okay.
So, I'll read that again.
Yeah.
If you were named after, it says, I'm going to fix that. So I got a thumb too. Your worst trait, what would your name be? What about your best? Serious question, no joke. So essentially asking you what your worst, best trait is.
My worst trait. I'm gonna go with anxious. That's probably my worst trait, and the reason why is because it allows me to dive into depression, or it allows me to dive into lack of commitment or lack of effort because of the anxiety. I think it's a root that stems up into so many other things. So
That's good.
yeah,
I think for me, it would have to be like laziness. I can be very slothful at times.
Man, that is such a such a transparent thing for you to be willing
Yeah,
to
dude,
say
for real.
online. For real.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to make a joke because
Yeah.
I thought of something, but I'm sticking to the real question because like in my like slothfulness, like I can tend to be behind on things or
Yep.
to not do things or to let things get terrible. Like example, like my car could be trashed. I'm just too lazy to clean it. And then people ask me like, "Hey, did you do this?" It can be the next thing. It can go to lie and be like, "Oh yeah, I did," and then hurry up and rush, try to get it done and make it the best when I haven't like taken like 2 seconds to give it like all. So it could become very like, it could be like a gateway to other things, to be lying, to be anxious, to be just ridiculous stuff. Like, yeah.
Cool. I mean, thank you for being willing to share that. I have a lot of them, so I'm picking the worst one. I don't know. I think I keep coming back to this. I feel like when I say this, though, people will misunderstand my personality.
yeah,
Because I'm not dominant. I don't think I'm domineering, but I can be controlling in the sense of I don't like, because out of that comes anxiety and all those kinds of things. I often cling to this illusion, that I can keep my hands around things, and that's just silly sometimes. Best traits.
Oh, best. Let's see, man.
Are you guys awake today?
Yes, for some reason, because you said worst, best, and I was like, what is it?
Your worst best trait.
Yeah. So for some reason, I didn't think they separated them. I thought it was one thing. Best trait.
This might be needy. Best trait, loyal. I like loyal. Worst,
I'd say my
uncompassionate.
best trait is my. Man, it's hard. I'm trying to think. Like it's like laid back, but I don't know if that's considered a trait.
I would say that's a trait. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say laid back.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I think very highly of myself. So this is oh gosh, I think as much as like it could be a downfall, like serving. I like to serve.
Yeah, you
Like,
definitely do.
I like to be involved in everything I can
definitely
to like
serve.
to like a
Absolutely, man.
flaw. Like I'll be a part of anything and everything I can to where I will poke myself and do like crazy things. But like truly, if my heart's in the right place for serving, I love to do it.
It's good, man.
I was gonna say one, but I feel like people would say it has a double-edged sword. Passionate. So I would just say is compassionate. I do love people. And
Oh, absolutely. You got a big
drives a
heart, man.
lot of what I do. It's just the outer appearance doesn't match it, so people don't know that.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, really, really brave. You guys say all those that are sharing these things, man. Great.
Oh yeah, I'm
Thank you
trying
for
to
being
keep
willing.
up.
Yeah, worst is for sure, best is caring. I would say you're definitely caring, Jordan.
Yeah.
All right.
Chris Courtney asked real quick. Super Bowl picks.
Who I want to win or who I think's going to win?
TB12, baby.
I
Go
would
Bucks.
love to see Tom Brady win, and just to solidify that he's the GOAT. But I think I do believe the Chiefs will probably win.
I want the Bucks to win.
Yep.
It'd be
I
so
think
cool for
Tom
the Bucks
Brady's
to
gonna.
win.
I think the experience is gonna get the best of Mahomes and them Chiefs. Should I do my score now? I predicted perfectly last
did.
year. I'm gonna go 28-21.
You know, I'm gonna go 24.
28-21 Bucks. Yeah.
I'm gonna go 24-21 with a field goal. Field goal to win it.
Nice.
35-21.
No, that's pretty good because the Chiefs can score, man.
Yeah, and I think
See,
the
but
Bucks
that-
will throw in a garbage touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah, I say, was that in favor of the Bucks?
Even though I want Chiefs win, I don't want them to win. I hope I'm wrong. I'd
Yeah.
love to see him win. I think I tend to be able to feel other people's emotions. Empathetic, yeah. Grief, anger, very personally, it's a good quality. It can also be overwhelming. Yeah, I bet. And Luke says, "Don't say humility." I didn't. Once again, though, I actually think I'm a pretty humble guy. If by humble you mean I hate myself, then yeah. All right. Moving on. What do we got here?
She says, "Are y'all gambling on real talk?"
No.
Nope.
Listen, this is my first show back. We're not gambling.
What do we got? I want to make sure I give you time to do yours. We'll go a couple more questions here.
Okay.
Best compassion towards the elderly, worst procrastination. Yeah, that's a pretty bad one of mine
Yeah,
too.
I'm a pretty big procrastinator myself, actually.
Yeah, me too.
I'm up, I think, and I'll answer my question immediately after I ask it. Can people tell you? Number 4. Can people tell you have spent time with Jesus?
I'd like to say yes. You know, I think I'm a completely different person compared to who I used to be. You know, I think who I am now can come. It's kind of come as a shock to some who used to know me. Who when I ran back into them again, I think they could tell I was different. It was cool, man, because it is Jesus. So I'm gonna say yes. I think people can tell I've spent time with Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Like we had some like youth accept Christ here at the church, and you actually brought up to me. You were one of the first people. Like you like said they've changed because like they're reading, they're praying, they're actually trying to actually have a relationship, and you can tell there's a difference within their lives. So yeah, I definitely believe that. Like you can tell when someone's spending time with Jesus. And even like myself, for me, I just feel better. I feel happier, I feel lighter, and it's like I'm more upbeat. Like I like it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think people probably can. I'm probably calmer and probably more loving, more patient, all those things.
Yeah, man,
Makes
absolutely.
sense.
Ooh, the Jesus glow.
Yeah, I like that, Chris.
Jesus glow, I like it.
You're up, buddy.
All right, we're gonna go with number 3. And the question is, what made it okay for God to kill women and children in the Old Testament? And they're referencing 1 Samuel 15:3.
Yeah, so the section that they're referencing is the Amalekites or the Amalekites is what I'm going to call it for the time being. So God tells Saul to kill all of them, including infants, children, etc. This is one of those verses that's hard to talk about because, first of all, we're never going to feel comfortable with what he tells us. Like, no answer is going to make it comfortable to say that God commanded someone to kill infants, children. We can't understand that.
Yeah.
Here's what we have to rest on. You know, the Bible tells us that God's thoughts and ways are higher than our own. He knows more than we know. We also know that God is good and God is just, which means he will never do something that is not good and that is not just. So when those moments, and there's many parts of the Bible I can be uncomfortable with, I rest in the fact that I know his character.
That's good.
And I allow that to help me in the times that I can't think of a good reason. I will say, Saul did not obey him. And what ended up happening was this caused the Jewish people, a ton of problems for years, hundreds of years later, because that people group was not. In fact, that people group almost led to the extinction of the Jews at one point because they came back to attack and all those kinds of things. So, the bottom line is there's no answer that's going to be comfortable for that. So what made it okay, though, to answer, he's God and I'm not?
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of the like verses or examples that a lot of like non-believers use to attack Christianity and like attack like our faith, because they'll always pick out the negative and not really care for the reason behind it. They just want to use that as like the face of like the argument. Because like, how do you explain to a non-believer that like God is God, like who he says he is? If they don't want to believe who he is, then how do you explain that to them? That's just for me, like what I'm thinking through this when I hear this.
Yeah, that's good, man. I don't think I have anything to add between you two. That's really good, man. Like you said, like God is God, I am not, and I have to trust his character that he is good and he's just. Yep. Absolutely.
And that's hard, man. That's hard for a lot of things. It's it's the same answer. The bottom line is it always boils down to mistrusting God's character. Which,
That's
by
right.
the way, isn't that the same thing that was in the garden?
Oh yeah.
When God says, "Don't go here. This isn't good for you. Trust me."
Yep.
And what does Satan say? He goes, "Did God really say
That's right.
that? He doesn't want good for you. He doesn't want you to be like him." Those same people always are going to try to find the flaw because the bottom line is, it's the same lie, right?
It is the same lie. It's what we deal with today for sure. Not questioning his character, right?
Yeah.
I know I can struggle with that.
Me too,
Absolutely.
man. That's one of the first things you can kind of forget. And,
It's so
but it's also putting yourself above him.
yeah.
Yep.
I used to say it's so easy to play the role of God because like you feel in control and like you don't want to trust. Like sometimes it's easier to do. You think it's easier to do things your way because you can see it get done physically. Like if you pray for something and it doesn't happen, then you just do it and take care of it yourself. well, you could be hurt, you could be torn, it could be bad for you because you're playing that role and putting yourself in God's throne in a place.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 9.
Nice.
Did I go next? Or
Yeah, it's you. It's you. Number 9.
I've been wrestling with the fact that I don't know what the purpose of life is. Would you guys be able to help me figure that out? What is the purpose of life?
Man, what a cool question. You know, because I know for me, before I knew Jesus, I would ask myself that question so often. You know, I didn't think there really was much of a purpose to life. I was just kind of going through the motions, just kind of a zombie, really. What's crazy about knowing Jesus is he gives purpose in everything because of the mission he's given you. So what is the purpose of life? It's to tell people about Jesus, man. You know, as you go, that's what it says. That's what the Bible says. As you go, tell everyone about Jesus. And, you know, what an amazing purpose that is once you truly understand what that is. What a crazy mission and cool mission he's given us. So what is the purpose of life? Spreading the gospel. And honestly, man, for me, I guess a big purpose of life is living joyfully, because they will know us by our love for one another. And if we can't be happy about life, then how are we going to be loving to each other?
That's good. Austin, any thoughts?
It definitely made me think of like the Great Commission, like just telling people about Jesus, like to bring honor and glory to him. Like as much as like I don't see it, like I can be blind by it, but because I can kind of forget my purpose. I can forget my calling to love one another and tell people about Jesus. But when I do, it just makes me feel different. Like to actually truly love someone and just tell someone that, hey, like there's someone who loves you more than you'll ever understand, and more that you're like capable of like ever knowing. Like that's just good. And it just kind of makes me feel joyful.
Yeah,
a lot
dude.
To have good conversation like that.
For me, sometimes I separate in my head the purpose of life and like the mission of life, which it isn't, right? But that's how it helps me.
Yeah.
I think I look back to the garden, you know, and essentially we were created as image bearers of God, right? We are walking statues of God's glory. C.S. Lewis coined. So to me, the purpose of life is to live out life. If Jesus were you, is to reflect his glory to the world. And when I do that best, it's being me, who he's called me to be.
Yeah.
And being Todd and loving people. And when I live out of his glory, right? When I walk with his glory, when I live out as an example, a statue of his glory, is when I am loving people, when I'm telling people the good news.
Yep.
That's it, right? I live in a relationship with him. So, and that's why I separate sometimes, because the mission, that is my job. My mission is to tell people who he is, so they too can live as, you know, walking
That's so
statues
cool,
of his
man. I
glory.
love that.
So, you know, there's this quote, I think it was like St. Irenaeus, that says, "The glory of God is man fully alive." And I always love that. It's just the idea that, you know, when we are living out of our purpose, who we really are, without the fear and anxiety, and walking in relationship with God and obeying him, man, that brings him the most glory.
That's beautiful, dude.
Love Solomon's answer at the end of Ecclesiastes. That's so good. Fear God and obey him, for that is the whole duty of man. Oof, that's good.
I love that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Man.
All right.
Let's see. We're sitting at like 9:27. You said you want to go like one more.
Well, we also want, give him. What if you aren't a believer? What's the purpose? Actually, I want to go to this question right now, because it says, "I appreciate you guys said, but what if you weren't a believer? What's the purpose then?" That is your purpose, regardless of whether you believe or not.
That's good. Yep.
So I can
Absolutely.
believe that oxygen isn't real, but I need it to live. You know, you are a person that is not a believer. You are, you know, not living in your purpose. You're not living, you know, you're a fish out of water. You were meant to live in a relationship with God. It doesn't matter if you believe that. And that's why the world is constantly looking for an answer to fill that hole.
Yep. Because they're running away from the
Yeah.
answer. Good stuff.
That's my thoughts on it.
Absolutely.
So good. I'm just pondering that because, like, it makes me think of, like, all the times that, like, I'm out of water.
Yeah.
And, like, how much better it is for me when I'm actually in the water with God, like, living my life. Like, I just feel better overall. I'm, like, happier. Like, I'm very joyful. Like, yeah, no, you're fine. I'm just I don't know. That's good. I like what you said.
Yeah. Good. Well, hey, I'm going to do that. In the meantime, can you start get to know? We'll announce the winners. We have the drawing. Great question, by the way. Those that whoever's watching, if you're a non-believer, that's such. I'm just so thankful you're here and asking those questions because that's what this is about. And I hope keep asking. We'll keep checking. Do we have an updated? We've got what 3 minutes? We said 9:30. We're closing up the raffle. So if you want to get in and get a
9:30,
ticket,
close it up.
www.theremnant.live/give.
Boom.
You go ahead and get started on get to know, and I'll come in and awkwardly interrupt in a second.
All right, cool. So, like Todd said, you guys got a couple minutes here. Go on the www.theremnant.live/give. Go down to Real Talk and go ahead and get your quick donations for the raffle. They'll be happening very soon. And while we're doing that, we'll go ahead and get started with our next segment, and it's called Get to Know. So clearly, we have our lovely guest here, Austin. So Austin, I know you've watched before, or at least you say you have. So
I have.
So I'm sure you've seen this segment before, so I'm sure you have an idea of what it is. So I'm just going to leave it for you where you want to pick up on your story. I don't know if you want to start at the beginning
Oh gosh.
or if you want to go. So I'm going to leave it open for you, and if I have questions, I'll get to them.
Yeah, I think I'll do kind of like towards the end to now, in a sense. Like most recently, like a lot of exciting things have happened in my life. Just recently became a dad as of December 26th at 2:30 p.m. of 2020. My son Noah was born. Taylor and I are very happy. He's a lot of joy. He's definitely a handful. A lot of challenges that are like new to parenting and like my life in the new chapter. And it's like, it's so good. Like going home and just seeing him is just different.
Yeah.
Like, and someone said something very powerful to me, and I didn't really understand, so I became a dad. Norman, actually, you son of a gun. Like, he said to me, once I became a dad, I never truly understood God's love he has for me as a child until I saw my son. And, like, I didn't really understand what he was saying until I saw Noah for the first time.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I was first seeing him, I'd see him in, like, these ultrasound pictures, and like I wouldn't be able to touch him, wouldn't be able to feel him or see his true face. But when he was born, it was like, man, I get it. Like I cried like a little baby. Like I was so happy and joyful. Like nothing that he can do can disappoint me. And it's like he's just a baby. He's like over a month old. Like he'll be 2 months this month.
I'm sure
It's
that
like,
puts a lot of things into perspective of faith, right?
absolutely. Like
Yeah, man, that's so cool. So, like, did you always want a family? Like, did you always want to grow up, get married, and have kids?
yeah, I did. I wanted that.
So, like, is it a shock to be where you are now?
yes, it's still a shock.
Yeah.
Like it's still like, there are times I'll sit there and just like, oh, I'm a dad. This little tiny human is mine. And
Yeah.
like it's still like, I remember I was taking a nap on the couch, and I had him on my chest. Took a nap.
Welcome back, Todd.
Took a nap for about an hour. And like I fell asleep, and when I woke up, I saw this like ball of hair right in my face. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, oh, it's just my son. And like it threw me for a loop. It terrified me. I'm like, oh, but then yeah, then the horrible diaper stories that parents have.
Already?
Oh, I can definitely relate. Blake was there for one of them. I had a very, very terrible diaper. I was sitting there screaming and yelling because I didn't know what to do.
Not your dad, Sydney.
And Blake walked by. I'm like, Blake, I need paper towel. He's like, well, I need paper towel. And just, yeah, it was
Just a mess.
Yeah, it was just a mess.
Oh, man.
And
So I wanted to ask, because I know you kind of, like you said, you want to start like where you're at right now. And like you said, you had a very significant, happening in life, right? Becoming a father. So, and you said that growing up, you always knew you wanted kids. You knew you wanted to have a family. And now that you're there, so like, I don't know, man, is that something you always wanted, or was that something that was inspired by your walk?
I think it's just something that I wanted, because there's a lot of pressure of being a husband and a dad. Like being the spiritual leader of my household is a lot of pressure. It's a lot of weight to carry. And like if I look on it from that perspective, I don't really want it. But knowing that I have it now, it kind of just makes it better. Like physically actually being in the moment makes it easier. It's still hard at times, but it makes it easier actually being here.
Right.
So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Sure. Yeah, I think it does. It's just it's always been something that you've always wanted, and I'm sure it probably, I think I even said earlier, you definitely have a deeper understanding of what faith is now with how God loves you because of the way you love Noah. So that's really cool, man. Now I did want to ask because I know you said you wanted to start kind of later, but taking it back to more of your roots. So like, did you grow up in church? Because this is for people who'd never met you. So
Yeah, I grew up in a couple different churches actually. Started out in a Catholic church, above all things. Went to a Catholic school
wow.
for a couple of years, and then kind of just left the Catholic church. I don't really remember why. I was really young at the time. It was like first grade when that happened. Didn't go to church for a while. Then I went to a non-denominational church. Got invited from a friend from school. Went there for a couple of years, and then stopped going there. Left that church. Then I went to a Methodist church where I was there for years. It seemed like
So you just been like all these different denominations. And,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty much like a church hopper. It seemed like moving from one place to another. And
Did that affect your faith in any way? Did it make you look at Jesus or God differently throughout that?
not entirely because what I remember, like the Catholic Church, I don't remember much of it at all. But like the other churches were non-denominational Methodists, which like I believed in Jesus, so it didn't really like mess with my faith a whole lot because I wasn't really rooted deeply in the Catholic Church. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but I wasn't really rooted deeply to change my opinion and change my faith. So it didn't mess with me that much.
Yeah.
There were a lot of questions after I left the Methodist Church, and questions I still didn't really understand because my pastor at the time, her name was Holly, like a woman pastor, which there were arguments, there still are, like how women shouldn't lead the church and lead men spiritually and all that stuff, and it was just big, and it kind of just rocked me. That kind of messed with me a little bit,
Yeah.
leaving there, so then coming here. So that did mess with me a little bit, but it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything to like really shake my faith. It was more like secondary issues in my opinion. So like it didn't determine the outcome of like what I believe.
Gotcha. So throughout that change of your entire that whole journey there, from like you said, going from being Catholic in school, from there hopping into non-denominational, into Methodist. So through that whole journey, how many years was that? Like you said, it was from like little to.
Like I think it's a whole journey for me, like just going to church.
Yeah, like that whole process was a span of many years, correct?
Yeah, there was probably 3 years up in total that I just didn't go to church. Other than that, most of my life I was in church of some different form, whether it was going to the Catholic Church, whether it was going to the non-denominational, or visiting my grandma at her church, or going to the Methodist Church, or coming here. Probably 3 years in total that I was not in church.
Gotcha. So wow, so you've been in church almost your entire life.
Yeah.
Wow. So like, when was your light bulb moment? Like when you knew like this was all real, like when Jesus was real, when God was real. Like what was that experience like?
It was weird, but really good. I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't really. There was kind of the point where I didn't really go to church. This was between for the non-denominational church and the Methodist church. So part of the time where I didn't really have a church home, wasn't really going anywhere, wasn't really reading, praying, didn't really have a relationship with Christ, didn't really want to at the time, because why would God love someone like me? It was just all the lies I kept telling myself, and just like
What was not good enough for you for God to love back then? Do you remember?
just my Tourette's, my life itself, like how situations that happen towards my family, like why would God allow stuff like this to happen type thing. So like with me,
So because those things happen, he must not love you type deal?
yeah, and because like I don't view myself as anything, why would he love like a piece of like crap? Because I don't I didn't view myself well, still struggle with it to this day, like don't like talking about myself at all, hate it. And it's like, why would God create and love something that doesn't love itself?
Yeah. So knowing that, not to take, because I think that's interesting. Well, go ahead. Did you finish that question? Sorry, there's many things you
didn't.
said. Go ahead. Yeah.
But sophomore year in high school, I was invited to go to this like Bible study after school, public school. So we had to do it on our own time. And I only went because of friends. I was really good friends with a lot of kids there. They invited me. I actually auditioned for the school's gospel choir a couple years. Didn't make it. But like I still like I wanted to be a part of something because it was cool. I didn't really believe it, but I wanted to be a part of it because I knew something was drawing me towards it because their music was different, the environment was different, and like there was something about it.
Yeah.
So I got invited to go to this Bible study after school and then go to a youth group afterwards. So I attended it for a couple weeks. Church here in Columbia City that I was going to, part of their youth group. And we went through this book. It was called The Purple Book. I still have it to this day. Didn't finish it because we didn't get to finish it. It was like the second weekend that we started The Purple Book. Dove right in, deep questions. And one of the questions was, do you accept or know God? And I put no, but I really want to. I knew I wanted something different. I know I wanted something more. I wanted something that I was missing. And at the time, like my friend David at the time, he told me, he's like, hey, have you accepted Christ? I'm like, I think so. I've been to all these different churches. Like I've prayed. I've always felt something. I've always felt different at certain times. I felt like this overwhelming, like force is what I call it, because I didn't like know the Holy Spirit at the time, and it was just this comforting feeling. Like I would just get like relaxed, and I would stand up and worship and sing and cry. And I don't know why I was doing it, and it got to the point where I accepted Christ that day, and it was like a bitter sweet moment in a sense, because like it was weird because I didn't understand it, because like telling people, oh, I accepted Christ, people were screaming, yelling, jumping, being happy. I remember I told one of my teachers who was a really strong believer, she was playing piano at the time, and they told her that I accepted Christ. She got up and screamed and yelled, and she's like, wow, ran to me, gave me this big hug, and I'm like,
Pretty awesome.
I'm like, what's going on? Because it was weird. People were happy and asking me all these questions. I'm like, I don't know what I just did. Like, and they're asking me like, do you feel any different? Do you feel alive? Do you feel free? I'm like, I think so. I'm like, I just said some words and just I feel different, but I don't know how to explain it. And it wasn't like. Then I kind of really realized what it means to accept Christ, and then later on in life, it just got deeper and just knowing more and just wanting to know more. And it's like, it's so good because like what I know now, I knew back then, I know my life would be different, because it's just so good knowing that like, yeah, I can mess up, I can stray away, but I know that God's always with me and he loves me and cares about me.
Amen. So good, man. Yeah. It's awesome.
I don't know. I was just kind of buying time, asking as many questions I could think of.
You were doing good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if you explain this, but Austin's one of the pastors here.
Yes.
So, it's pretty cool to hear you say that, man, and to know that at times you still doubt who you are in him, because that's so real, but you don't let your view of yourself prevent you from doing what he's asking you to do and serve people, because a lot of people do. So, Austin, I think he thinks I'm kidding, but I tell a lot of people this. Austin is one of the best examples I've ever met of a servant leader. He serves and loves people, and he's one of those guys that's willing to do anything here.
Yep.
I'm sure his wife's like, just kidding. But he really is, and she's actually, weirdly enough, for all their differences, she's very similar to that, willing to do just anything for people. So it's been cool to see you guys, and I'm just blessed to have you as a friend and a partner in mission, and it's been cool. And I think it's been neat to even see, and I won't say this necessarily now, but even your personal journey in the last year of your faith growing and being pushed and kind of going into those lies. And we have a group here called Lionheart, which is like a men's group on steroids, we call it, I guess, and really pushes into individual stuff. So it's been cool to see you just take those challenges head on, man, and dive in. So
Definitely don't like it at times because they're hard.
I encourage you guys, the get to know segments are not, boy, that's not his whole life, and he's way more than 10
Scratching
minutes.
the surface for sure.
So I'm sure we'll have him on again. If you get a chance to sit down and really talk to Austin, get past the jokes and he's an awesome guy. Always has really good questions and makes you think that he thinks. It just happened yesterday. He came in and said, hey, I've been thinking about this, and led to this whole thing where I was like, man, it's just cool to be pushed by that. So I appreciate you, man. I love you.
Love you guys too.
Yeah, man.
And if you hear me talk about my Tourette's, it's a very, very fun story. I try to use it to get out of conversations all the time and use it for excuses. So if I ever do that to you, no, I'm joking.
I'm
until it
apparently,
really happens.
I'm apparently dense because people don't believe me. I never knew he had it. I'm like, why do they call you Twitch? I don't get
When
it.
I first
Yeah.
came around, I
It's-
didn't even notice.
I've noticed like it's hit or miss with people. Like you either notice it or you don't. There's no like in between. It's like there's something weird about that guy, or like
I
it's
don't- yeah, I don't-
it's either like nothing's wrong with him, or they're like, what's wrong with him?
Yes, I can't. Somebody actually had to say, yeah, like they had to point it out to me. I didn't even notice.
Probably the worst story I've ever had with my Tourette's. My wife and I were over at our friends, mutual friends' house, Zach and Bree, and I hate telling this story because I'm trying not to laugh. We were sitting around the table, my wife and I, Zach and Bree, and two of their sons. Their middle child was sitting next to me, and Zach was sitting on the other side. And if Zach was on, he would die laughing. He looks at me and goes, "Why does your head do this weird thing?" I'm like, how do you explain to a little child about Tourette's?
Who asked you that?
Wyatt.
Oh, that sounds about
And
right.
Zach was dying laughing, and Bree's like, "Wyatt!" And Taylor's laughing. I think it's awkward because I'm trying not to laugh. Like, how do I explain to someone, hey, my brain has a malfunction where I twitch? Like, I don't know how to explain that to a child. And it's like, oh, it's good. It's a great conversation starter for a lot of people.
Pastor Jim wants to know. That's his name on there. Sounds like, I always feel funny saying, but he says, "What is your life verse? Do you have one?"
Did he ask? I think, was he just asking Austin or was he
Yeah.
asking everybody? Okay.
No, last time we thought he was asking everyone. He was only asking the guests.
That's right.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to
be a verse that maybe sticks out to you. It's always impacted you. Or
it I used to be Philippians 4:13, but recently one of the verses that I've kind of clinged to is like, I forget where it is. I gotta look it up again because it's like, with God anything is possible. It's let me see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, man. God, all things are possible. Yeah.
I like that question. It's funny how it's cool how God uses different parts of His Word to speak to people in different ways.
To his people, absolutely.
Yep.
Super cool.
While he's looking that up, we'll go ahead and do our announcement, our winner. So our winner for, did you find it?
Yeah,
Go for it.
Luke 1:37. For nothing will be impossible with God.
That's because they're saying that's impossible, and Jesus said, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. All right, so our winners for first do Remnant Roulette. Those that took part in Remnant Roulette. Our first winner is
Is it me?
Haley Abbott. Haley Abbott, if you're still
Haley.
on, you win. You have until, I bet she isn't, 9:40, we'll go 47. If not, I'm going to go to
9:47.
our next winner, 9:47.
Nice.
While we do that, we'll go ahead and do
Let me do
our, do we
Regina.
have our hat filled with names? Did we get anybody that came in last minute?
We did. We had 3 people.
Ooh, who are they?
Any of them guys? Because I want to win the basket. Yeah.
All women. Dixie King, Denise Redinger, and Kate Seth.
Awesome. By the way, Regina says, I noticed, but I think it's more out special needs because I'm in tune with that stuff. And you're awesome, Austin, and I have done a lot for my family. Love you, brother.
Love you too, Regina.
And Sydney also said that you're pretty okay.
Nice. That's coming a lot. That's a lot coming from Sid.
Yeah, it surely is.
That's like awesome. Now I gotta ask,
Production guys coming on over. Go ahead.
after we do this, do you want to share the story about my knee, the football story?
I
Because I love it when
I
you
am
tell
gonna
that story.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to pull the first one. We'll go ladies first. So this is for with a lot of tickets in here.
Yep. And this is a mixed batch. So whoever
Why does he
pull the-
not listen to anything we say before the show starts?
What?
Nothing. Hey, Amber Poling, you are the winner of our girl basket. So you can reclaim that sometime we see you. So we'll see you Sunday or
Boom.
Monday or whenever. We'll get you that basket. So
You
thank you,
are
big
the
supporter of
winner.
us. We appreciate you. She had a lot of tickets in there. Moving forward to the next basket.
All right, let's get
The
it.
guy
If
basket.
you
as
draw
it's
my
called.
name, I'll split the basket with you.
Did you got some in there?
Oh yeah, I threw some in because I
awesome.
can't let Greg beat me. Greg.
Lot of
Was it another Amber?
lot of Amber in there. You got to pull a guy. She had 120, I think, tickets
Yeah,
in there.
120 entries.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to throw out any Amber want to find.
It's gonna be a
Keep
lot.
buying time. You guys got to talk, okay?
Okay.
Oh, found it. Hey, we got a guy here.
Here it is.
It is. I didn't. It is Greg Bennett. Greg Bennett, you're the winner of our
Triple
guys
B.
basket. Triple B. Thank you so much for your support. Those of you that support us, thank you again. You did support the show. We love you, appreciate you very much. We are having a basket next week that's for anyone.
Yep.
It's a really good basket for real, so you want to tune in for that.
exciting.
Appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
they have to
doing
be
that.
on to win the basket.
No.
Dang it.
Wait. Oh, that'd be funny. No, unfortunately not for the raffle.
Greg,
Yes.
there
What
might
were we
be
gonna
some
do
things
before
missing.
that?
We got to do another. I think we got to draw another winner for Remnant Roulette.
Oh, that's correct. She's not. Thank you so much. The winner for that is Sydney Walters. Sydney Walters, you are the winner.
Whoa.
You win. You got to claim your prize. Say I'm here or something to that effect. You have until 9:51.
9:51, Sid.
See,
Now-
I know she's on, but she's probably not going to say anything now.
That's all right. We'll move on to the next winner.
Oh my goodness. Let's see.
Make sure we didn't get any last minute questions in here.
Yeah, man. Good show
All right.
today.
While we're waiting, we'll go ahead and
Have
answer
fun.
one more. Hey, number 12.
Number
and then
12.
we'll close up.
All right.
Thank you for those that. Hey, Sid, thank you so much for supporting us. Oops. Number 12 is what's your favorite part about the church?
Ooh, favorite part about the church. I'm gonna say favorite part. No, are they talking about like
Hey, Charles.
Christianity, like Church Capital C, or like the Remnant?
It's not capitalized. So I'm going to say our
Gotcha. I'm gonna say just our community, man. Without the community and the fellowship that we do here, I wouldn't be this person I am. I wouldn't have gotten pushed and I wouldn't have grown the way
awesome
I
you're
have
here, Charles.
on my journey. So it's super awesome to be a part of a family that is just so on fire to just be better and just let people know about Jesus, man. It's so cool and it felt different first time I ever walked. Seeing all you guys, so it's special to be part of, and I'm very blessed.
It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely the people, definitely the community, the congregation. Like, I got a call from a buddy of ours. He just randomly called me. He's like, "Hey, man, can't talk. Just want to tell you you're awesome. Love you. Bye." I'm like, man, that made my day.
I'd love to hear. Oh, sorry. Love to hear those that even go to a different church. What's your favorite part about your church?
Absolutely.
That's good. It just, I love our congregation. Like, I love our people, and the fact that we want to spend time and hang out, like, outside of church, which is
Oh, yeah.
awesome. You don't really see that a lot.
I really like the community is special here. I like that the people here, no one's perfect, but they're very sincere about their pursuit of Jesus. I believe that, and some people are at different places along the journey, but that's so neat for me to see. And this is gonna sound weird, but they're in the muck and the mud of life together, and I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the definition of living life together. Absolutely.
Awesome. Do you have any other last ones to slide in here? We can actually make some headway.
Sure. We can throw up number 6 real quick.
What is the deep theological significance of?
Oh gosh.
What is the calling of the Lord, and what if you wanted to change it?
Most of the time when people say calling of the Lord, they're talking about a specific, as though, God has called you to this specific thing. Mm-hmm. So whether that's being a pastor, it's, I don't know, missionary, those kinds of things. So I think a calling, I'm always hesitant about these things. And if you know me personally, I very rarely will say, unless I know for sure, because
Yes.
I will say this. If you're talking about that kind of calling, I think you won't change it. When God calls you to something,
It's different, man.
yeah. So, but I think we all have a calling. Sometimes we focus so much on our individual calling that we should focus on the calling we all have, which is to what? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Love others as yourself. Spread the good news of the gospel. All those kinds of things. So when you're confused on what your calling is, you can rest in what the Bible tells you for sure that you don't have to wonder about.
That's good.
I don't know if you got any thoughts on that.
No, I don't have anything to add to that.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with you, Todd.
Any other thoughts? I'd welcome to hear that. Okay. Krista says my favorite part is the floor. It supports us all well. I'll make sure to let your dad know that. You could have said your dad. You could have said your love, whatever. The Remnant has honestly changed my life. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, I love hearing other people's churches too, man. We've talked this on our Real Talk web series about, there are times I get so encouraged by what I see other churches doing.
Oh, it's so
and the way
awesome.
that they love people in unique ways, or the ways that they are tangibly meeting the needs that aren't necessarily flashy, but are meeting people's needs.
Yep.
That's so cool to me. And that's an area that's inspired it just inspires me to keep me going, man.
Absolutely, dude. Because you can go looking like look at our family, look what they're doing. That's so cool. That's what it's all about. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Hey guys, anyone else have any questions to slip in? Now's your chance. I think that's about it. I've got my radio voice on.
Hey. She goes, "Oh, I mean my dad."
It's too late.
It's too late. Too late. Dang it. That's a classic, man.
You guys want to
I don't
slide
even
in?
like that song very
Oh,
much.
thank you too, Cadence. I hope you guys stay safe. Hey, if you had us asked a question, I don't think you did tonight, but we also answer questions on our web series / podcast. You can find on any podcast format by typing in Real Talk Web Series. Go like and follow that. Our church also has a podcast channel at the Remnant Church. Has this little fancy R you can see up there. If you haven't liked our page, we'd appreciate the more likes you get, the more engagement you get. That's what it's called, engagement. The more people see your stuff. You got anything you want to say to people on our way out?
Yes, thank you guys so much for just tuning in and just being a part of this ministry. Man, shout out to all you who just been around for so long. You guys are so incredible. And for those of you who are just now joining the party, hey, welcome. I'm so glad that you found us and that you're here. I'm so blessed to be part of this. You guys have just done so much for me in my walk. And just, man, you've affected my life so much. And, man, it's just a family. It's a family hanging out every week, twice a week. And it's so cool to be part of. And without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. So from the humble beginnings of the first episodes to where we are now, you guys are a part of that. And I appreciate you. So thank you.
Man, definitely thank you guys so much for allowing me to come back on
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
for another week. Sorry, Krista, I took your spot, but it was for the best.
We wanted to keep you safe.
Yeah, they don't care about me though. So
That's not true.
But I'm so grateful to be a part of this. Like, for the time that I was helping and for the time just like being on, it's just truly amazing to see how far you guys have come. Like, how much you've grown compared to like when you first started. Like being downstairs in the room with a phone and a little tripod to like a full blown studio now, which is awesome. Like, it's such like you guys have been doing this for years, and it's amazing to see like where you guys were to where you are now. And just like even like the growth and like the questions and the depth and how real it is. Like, it's really becoming real talk. And it's just nice to watch every single week. Like, just having fun, seeing the craziness that happens. And even like the Tuesday episodes are really good too. Like, I really like them.
man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Cadence I hope you all stay safe out there tonight. I ask for prayer for my family, and a lot of my friends are going through it. Hey, let's pray right now.
Absolutely.
Father, we thank you so much for Cadence, Lord. We pray for her family. We don't know what's going on. We pray you'd move because you still move. God, we pray for her friends that are struggling and hurt, and I pray, Lord, that through Cadence they can be pointed to you. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Awesome. Jordan says, can we call him Unfun Austin now? No, he's fun, man.
Listen, the entire time I've seen the comments from you and Amber saying, "Oh, Austin can leave now." Hey, I'm on the show. This is my time.
Real quick shout out. Thank you so much. I don't want to just. Sorry. Pastor Jim, hey, brother, I want to give you a shout out. It's pretty rare to have a pastor of another church support a ministry of another church publicly. We talk about that all the time. We know they do, but for you to do that and to like it, I really do want to sing. What is that called? Single that out because it's rare and it gives us hope and encouragement that we're all on the same team. So a shout out to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And all those, man, that entire church that hops on,
Yeah,
Luke,
it's so
the
cool,
Neers,
man.
Krista,
Yeah.
everyone. We're just really thankful. And that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, I'm certainly watching you guys and appreciate everything you share as well. Austin, I love you so much, man. You know that. It's my brother. If you don't know Austin, get to know him. Great guy, one of my best friends. And AJ, my partner, my compadre, my wingman, or I'm yours, the goose to my maverick, or the maverick to my goose, depends on who
I'll
you're
be your
talking
goose
to.
any day.
The Iceman to my map. No, that would be enemies. Anyway, love you, appreciate you. Production guy Blake, great job, man, for real.
Yeah, you're
Fun
a
Turn
killer.
Clint does
You
a
guys
lot
are
of good
awesome.
work. To both you guys. We could not do this show without you. Those watching, I'm telling you, you probably look and you say, oh, we had 18, 24, whatever. That doesn't matter. People watch this and get impacted, and it happens because you give us a platform to ask real questions and speak into people's lives and to answer those and to talk about them. And that's the whole point of this. The best thing I can tell you guys is, listen, someone said, what's the purpose of life? God has made you for a purpose. You matter. Even if you feel unseen, unloved, you are seen, you are loved. That's not just words. It's all real. And cling to that. Life is hard. Life is crazy and it's dark sometimes. But the truth is that in the midst of that God says he will never let go of us. Those who put our faith in him. Jesus said, I will never let go of you. So you can rest in that. Keep praying for us. Pray for our church. Pray for our ministry. Appreciate it. If you'd like or share this, we'd appreciate that. That's pretty much it, I think.
Think so?
One thing I want to point out too, well, no, I won't. Go check out our website if you want to know more about our church at www.theremnant.life. All that info. I think that's about it.
Boom.
Cindy, you for bringing your wingman to the church. All right. Hey, love you guys. Appreciate you. Hope you have a great night. And truly, God bless you.